now, Ghanaians, citinewsroom.com, Ghanaians to elect assembly members, unit committee members today. All right, so that story there on citinewsroom.com, it says here, all is set for the district level elections scheduled to take place today, Tuesday, the 19th of December 2023. Now, over 66,000 individuals are competing for assembly and unit committee positions in the local polls. The Electoral Commission's statistics indicate that 18,755 assembly member candidates and 47,502 unit committee member candidates, totaling 66,257 candidates, will be involved in this election. Now, the electoral battleground spans 6,215 electoral areas across 216 metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies. Director of Electoral Services at the EC, Dr. Shibo Kwaku, told Citi News that preparations are well advanced to ensure a successful organization of the polls. He's assured that adequate preparations have been made to ensure that there is no shortage of electoral materials at any polling station today. Now, with the exception of ballot papers, all materials are there, and when we are going, we don't go with partial delivery, we go with full delivery. So we're not expecting to have shortages. All things being equal, in case there are shortages, the district office will respond to such shortages, he added. Okay, and so the elections are on. Let me begin with Larry this morning. So yeah, district level elections are on. I know yesterday there were concerns, and of course not just yesterday, but it was in the papers yesterday, concerns about the politicization or not of these elections, and a lot of people were calling for the political parties to be involved directly, because hitherto they have not been, or they've not been allowed to be. As to whether they've been or not, that one is a matter of what's happening on the ground.
Stop pretending.
That what?
Stop pretending that they are not involved.
No, but officially they're not supposed to be involved. That's why I changed my language. I said that they are not supposed to be involved.
They are involved. I mean, all the political parties, at least the major ones, are quite involved. And they are involved by way of even the way they design their posters. Okay. So if you want to know,
which side the candidate is leaning,
yes,
the colors will give you an
will
indication.
reflect that. So when you are going to vote, then you vote accordingly. If you belong to that party.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's an NDC enclave, you can be sure that you have, the red, you have the green, you have the white, all being shown.
Yeah.
And if it's an MPP enclave, you have the blue, you have the red, and again, and then the white also being depicted on that. So the political parties have always been involved. For me, I think that it's a good thing. Local government, I'm a student of local government. And, I appreciate, what that whole concept is supposed to do. That is a local participation, of everybody.
Yeah.
As far as the politics or local politics is concerned, local governance is concerned, local administration, what you get, So let's say central government would have decided a certain action, but then at the district level or at the local level, during implementation and so on, some of these things are brought to the local, to the districts or municipalities and so on. And then they are able to decide how the approach of implementation.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, how to, if there's no budget, how to look for budget to implement that. And so it's a very good thing, except that over the years, I don't think we have made very good use of it. Okay, it's been reduced more to teach the the district chief executive or the MCC, a bitter lesson he will not forget.
Yeah.
Because maybe he's not, watering the ground the way
Yeah.
people had expected him to do.
Yeah.
Or maybe also he's misbehaved.
Okay.
Because after his appointment, I mean, he's grown wings and he's not doing what the people expected of him.
So, but you see, I find this whole way we run our elections at the politicking very disconcerting because we have election of certain persons in local government, but we have appointment of certain persons in local government.
Yeah.
To me, that's a recipe for confusion.
Why?
Because you see, if the person who's the president's man on the ground doesn't have 100%, no, it doesn't even have to be 100%.
Okay,
the majority support of the people who he's governing, right? That's a recipe for trouble, And so, yes, you can impose all you want, but the whole idea of we will teach you a lesson is more likely to happen because it's like you've come, we didn't choose you. You see, it's different if you choose the person and the person is going a certain direction. It's like it's your choice. You also know that come the next cycle, you also have the power to choose again.
Politics mean a different thing to a different people.
Okay.
To somebody, it is bread and butter. To somebody, it's vendetta.
Okay.
To somebody, it's, a means to better society, sort of. You get it? For him, like you're saying, that, so like some people would approach and say, oh, I'm not, let's say, I'm CPP, for instance.
Yeah.
But then the president who selected you because the president is an MPP person or NDC, and then you also belong to that political party. And so being a CPP person, I want to deal with you in a manner you'll not forget. Now, I mean, there's also this whole thing where some of these guys are unable to know what exactly they want for the districts or the municipalities that they have been appointed over, and what they are supposed to deploy to make life better.
Yeah.
And so then you notice very often they run rather into conflict with people.
Yeah.
And all they do is that then they are building an enemy army to attack. I mean, that becomes their undoing. And so it's, I think the whole district thing, the local governance thing, we would have to properly define, relook at it. Because over the years, what's been happening is this. People can't, policies are brought up every now and then, but then there's no financial backing. Central government will have to go and look for money and bring it for some of these things to be implemented. So at the end of the day, the projects don't see the light of day. The policies
but all these, but you see, all these local government things, there's a ministry of local government. And the finance ministry is supposed to present a budget to finance. For finance to also cater for them. So they should receive money like everybody else is receiving
they
money.
are also supposed to raise revenue. Okay, so the local government is just like central government, but at the local level. So you have that's where you have the police, the security people down there. You have audit service there. Exactly. You have
and all those people.
you have the Ministry of Finance, agencies operating in all that area, all the way down. You understand? You are supposed to raise revenue from the markets and other things. So, like what we are going to elect, yes, exactly. The people we are going to elect now are like the parliamentarians of the district. You get it? Like the parliamentarians of the district. So they come up with they need to come up with the bylaws and so on as to how to administer the whole district, sort of. But like I'm saying, the whole thing has been reduced to young politicians going to cut their teeth. For tomorrow. And once he's been able to do that 4 years, he's coming at you as the MP. The district chief executive also wants to go at the MP. And then becomes a whole, a lot of.
So do you think removing politics entirely from that level, or rather making it fully political, instead of this half hybrid thing that we have done, which one do you think is
better?
Yeah, it's better.
That debate has been there. I recall President Elvis, correct me if I'm wrong. I recall President Kufuor made mention of that we should stop the pretense. That
I agree.
That the parties are involved anyway, so we should cut it off. I think President Kufuor also made mention of it at the point. But the General Secretary then, the one who was defeated, John Boedu, said that no, reducing that to a party. No. Okay, that rather was the position. Yeah, but the district chief executive.
Yeah. Yes, voting for the DCEs.
No, it's supposed to affect all this. If that amendment had taken place, like the assembly elections were also
going to. By the way, let me come to you. What do you think of this? I mean, I personally, and this is just my own opinion, but I think that we should just rationalize it and say, look, we're going full pelt. 100%. Everything's political.
I'm coming
from top to bottom.
I'm coming. Yes. The reason why this hasn't seen the light of day is the feeling that the acrimony that is associated with this partisan thing at the higher level is going to be deployed at the local level as well. So then we can't make any progress. So at least one should be maybe
progress
acrimonious, but the other one should be a bit flexible. So to them, what we have is flexibility.
Are we not pretending?
The point is, we are doing a democratic system.
Yes.
And there are countries that have gone the way of partisanship at the local level elections. And there are few countries who have also made their local level elections non-partisan. So it's a matter of choice we have to make.
Okay.
And as Akufo-Addo attempted to make it partisan, and NDC and NPP agreed that it should be partisan. But then when the civil society organization decided to kick against partisanship, the NDC withdrew their support for the bill. And then it landed in trouble. And interestingly, CDD was supporting the partisanship of the whole issue. So in the heat of the whole thing, they decided to do a survey to find out what position do Ghanaians support. Interestingly, over 70% of Ghanaians say it should remain non-partisan, according to the CDD survey. So if we are going by the survey, it means that generally Ghanaians believe that making the local government election non-partisan is the best. So we should just have amended the constitution to say MMDC will be elected, but it will be non-partisan. If we have done that, then it means that we'll be given a chance to elect MMDCs, but then they will not be partisan. The local government elections generally is to identify people in communities who have committed themselves to development in their private life. So that people will nominate these people and elect them to bring that commitment to the general space. That's actually the idea of this assembly election, that communities should look out for people who have devoted themselves to making that their communities get development. So this is the concept, that if we do it that way, then we will get selfless people who are determined to bring development to their people, to lead the agenda of bringing development. Unfortunately, it turns out that politicians have seen it as a way of selling themselves to the people in order to become members of parliament. So the whole system has been hijacked by politicians. You hardly find an assembly member that is not a political agent. You hardly find the concept of somebody who just wants development for the area, becoming an assembly member and focus on that. It has become a purely NDC and MPP thing. To the extent that sometimes there will be 2 or 3 people in the same party who want to go for the assembly for that area. And the party will now have to do primaries, secretly do primaries, to determine which candidate should represent them in the assembly election. And this is what we have been doing. So clearly, though the concept of making sure that the thing becomes non-partisan, politicians have seen it that if I have to become MP, I must be popular with the people. One of the ways to be popular with the people is start serving them at the grassroots level. So if I'm an assembly member and I'm serving the people, I'm using an opportunity to get and build relationship with the people, for them to have a certain affection towards me, so that when tomorrow I declare intention to become MP, I'm already popular with the people at the grassroots. So now anybody that has intention that one day I want to become an MP, or I wish that my party comes to power and appoint me as the MMDC, they all decide that they will just take advantage of the system. And you see, you cannot prevent the person to say, if you have a political aspiration, you cannot you cannot become an assemblyman. So the truth is that clearly we shouldn't just be pretending. Truth is that everywhere you go, it is politics. So if you go to the voter region and you go to an assembly, maybe 90-95% of all the assembly members in every assembly are NDC. And then the MPP is in government and appoints the DCE to come and sit on top of them. And then decision taking and things all become like, that's why most of the time the central government imposes a lot of things on the districts. Because if the assembly are supposed to sit down, determine what they think is really in their interest, a lot of the things the central government wants done, they will not happen. Because the people that who are taking the decisions may kick against a lot of the things. So for me, I've said that I think that one of the key things I think is missing in the local government process is that we have not been able to sit down and say, as a country, every district must have its own development plan. I think that this idea of development, NDPC sitting at the top and trying to draw the plan for the whole nation, I think it should be the other way around. I think NDPC should just be focused on milestone and mega development projects.
As a matter of fact, and you are the district is supposed to design and then submit it to the for approval.
In my assembly in Sabdan, this assembly should be able to sit down and say, okay, we think that we need a university based on our population and the number of students who are emanating from this going to Arab. We think we need a university. What type of university? Assembly should be able to decide. Based on our population in this assembly, we think we need maybe 30 secondary schools. Maybe for now we have 20. So in the next 10 years, we should build additional 10 more. And we are locating the secondary schools based on population. So we know that, oh, this area is more populated. Maybe they deserve 2 secondary schools. These people, they are not that populated. So maybe 1 secondary school at the center will serve these people well. This may be the number of kindergartens and all that we need. So that the assembly has a master plan. And then based on that, it's okay. Maybe each year, we will build 2 secondary schools, 3 junior high schools, maybe 5 primary schools, and maybe 6 kindergartens. So whatever revenue that comes, the plan as to what the money should be used for is already determined. And it will be a systematic process of development. So the entire district knows that, oh, in 3 years' time, we are going to get a secondary school. My town of Tongo or Parliament knows that by 3 years' time, we'll get GSS. Because based on the plan of the assembly, this is how it's going to be implemented. Then, you see, people also buy into this because they know that the development is not being done partisanship. Or somebody who has power decide that this must go here or here. But it's a master plan that shows that if we have the necessary revenue, by this year you should have, this commission should have that. By that year, this commission should have this. When we do it that way, then we want the people even to pay the tolls. They will be willing to pay because they know that when the money comes, this and this is what is going to be done. The current system is that even schools, health centers, chip zones and everything is now determined by the central government. And then a contract is awarded at the central government level that go and build a school in this district. Go and build a chip zone in this district. And the people don't even feel involved in the process because the contract is being awarded somewhere. Sometimes assembly sit down and the contractor just comes, hey, I'm supposed to come and build this. You are supposed to show me a site to build this thing. So even the assembly itself, they don't know how that contract was awarded to the contractor to come and build that project. So it's really...
And therefore, they can't even hold the contractor accountable.
So it really creates a problem for the system. So if we really want this decentralization process to work, I believe that we should enforce that every assembly should have its own plan. And that when you enter this assembly's office, the main hall should show you, maybe in the next 30 years, 40, this is how we want the whole district to look like. It gives people the hope that, if my district is supposed to look like this in 50 years, then there is hope for the future. But you hardly go to this assembly office to see their development plan sitting in a hall for them to show you that this area is supposed to get invested. This one is supposed to be a district hospital.
Yeah.
We are going to construct a teacher training. We'll have a nursing training here.
Yeah.
We'll have a university here. We'll have our district hospital here. You will not see anything. So how do you expect the citizens to have any hope that there is something in the pipeline for them? The development we are having is that as and when central government decides you get something, there's no plans to tell us that we have a plan that in the next 40, 50 years, Southern district is supposed to be looking like this. This is why people, even when you ask them to pay tolls, they don't even see, because they ask, what is the money going to be used for? Because after all, somebody sits at the central government and decide that this is what must be done here, this is what, and then when the DC is the party empowers people, it's okay, we think that more assemblymen are from this area, so we are pushing this project here, not because that place deserves it. So you see real clearly that even if you go to certain districts, projects have been located at the wrong places. Projects have been located at the wrong places. I use Southern example for instance. If you go to the whole Southern, Germany has the highest population in the whole district. But until President Mills decided to build a secondary school at Tongo, there were about 3 secondary schools in Peki. And schools all over, but the area with the highest population didn't even have a single secondary school. So you realize that why is that in a district, the community with the highest population doesn't even have a secondary school, but there are other communities which even the population is not up to that, they have secondary school. So you realize that somebody sees someone and says, oh, Charlie, let's put this development in this area. Not because there's a proper work done to know that this particular project is needed in this particular area and not here. In fact, when the district capital was to be sited, it turned to a whole fight. And the area said, no, almost everything has been in Peki. So for the first time, they want the district capital to go to Kwebe, so that it will also bring some development to that area. Even the people of Peki were fighting over it. Because at that time, Peki has, they are like 7 towns. So they have a lot of assemblymen. And they were doing everything possible to make sure that that comes to them. Because they know that once the assembly headquarters is there, it's going to pull a lot of fire service headquarters. All these things will be there. So that they want everything. But we cannot have this kind of development when one area, even in the district, has all the facilities. And then the remaining areas of the district do not have. Because the people from that area, truth is that a lot of them are in influential positions. If you go to Southern, the people who are in very influential positions in academic, in politics, in everything, are largely from Peki. Because during the colonial era, when the colonial matters were coming, the other places were so much of a village. And the only place that access route is a little possible is Peki. So everything was sited at Peki. And after independence, it continued like that. So if you come to the district, and not only Southern, you go to most areas, development is not properly planned to make sure that it is diversified for opening up the whole place. One community is opening up, and every facility you need in the district is in that particular area. And the rest will have to be trekking and coming up. And that's why people even feel left out of development. Because within the whole district, a whole area so that it's only one area that has everything. Peki has the police headquarters. It has the district the hospital. It has a training college. It has about 3 secondary schools. It has almost everything you need is the headquarters at Peki.
And even outside of the region, Peki is like the most popular.
That's right. And this thing was happening at the time when we were all under Kwando district. Before the district was created for us in 2004 to become Southern. So we have to look at the assembly concept. It's failing not because we have not really planned development at the local level. And I think that by mere going to vote, it's not enough. That's why we have reduced democracy to. We have gone to vote. Let's go beyond that. I just think that we should try and distribute development evenly at the local level. Then people will feel that we have not been forgotten. There are many districts in their community who feel that they have been completely forgotten because when they look at just the district, a lot of development is controlled in one part of the district. And then the rest of the district seem to be totally left out. And I think that I went to China, one thing I learned is that every province you go to, when you go to the provincial office, or what you call this assembly office in Ghana, there's a big wall that shows you the entire development plan of that district. Is there. And they will show you this is here, this is here. This one is not done yet, but it's supposed to be done here. So when you are sitting there and see that, and you know that there's a plan for my district, and that this is what you have some hope. The Rwanda we talk about today, why are we all praising Rwanda?
I actually saw the same
it's
thing
because
in Dubai.
It's because there's a development plan for Rwanda. And they say when we finish the capital, we are moving to other rural areas. And the people are seeing transformation at the capital. So they say, oh, if this 50-year plan is this, and we are seeing this change in the capital, then obviously what has been planned for us in the rural area will also come. So if you go to Rwanda, we all praise Rwanda, but in fact, if you go to rural Rwanda, Ghana is far better than rural Rwanda. The roads and things are so bad, but they have hope that what they are seeing happening in the capital as part of that plan.
There's a few pilot projects that have started already in the rural Rwanda.
So it will get to us. So I think that this local government is supposed to be, we say that the local government is supposed to bring development to the people. So if we don't give them that hope, that these are the developments we want to bring to you, let's hope that we generate revenue and get something from government. And that the development is evenly distributed. Every community will have a fair share of what development is so that the entire district develops and everybody feels part of it. But when all the development is concentrated in one side, just one side of the same district, the same way we complain that everything is in Accra, the same way we are doing in our local levels. So we need to change that.
Okay. Larry, any other thoughts on this? And I wanted to also ask you something a bit tangential, but where are we with Central Kofi, Akpafu?
I think they are going to vote.
They're also going to be voting
as
well.
I think there was a statement that was issued 2 weeks ago saying that they are supposed to take part in this.
Okay.
Now, you see, all that Elvis mentioned boils down to revenue. Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest challenge for the district assemblies is revenue mobilization. They don't have the means to.
Okay.
Or even if it's mobilized at all, accountability has become an issue. Let's say they clamp your car, for instance, because you parked wrongly.
Yeah.
The money you pay, who does the money go to? Okay. I mean, there's been a debate as to whether or not that should be privatized. But even if it's privatized, is the private person ready to ensure proper accountability? There's an issue on that. There's also this road toll, thing that has also been talked about.
Yeah.
Who constructs the road? Is it central government? And then who collects the toll? Is it the local authorities?
Yeah.
So there's also another debate on that. So again, revenue. Property rates is also another. I mean, sometimes the kind of bills that they bring by way of you situating your house here is sometimes outrageous. All because maybe the guys have been told that, listen, this time central government doesn't have money, and so you have to go and look for money. And so when they are coming, they do the calculation from your ancestors, before. And then the payment becomes an issue. And after a while, everybody forgets about it. Building permits is also another means through which revenue is supposed to be raised. But very often, the construction is over before you come and see the assembly people come to write on it, produce permit.
Yeah.
I mean, all you need to do is to walk in there and then pay somebody some money and then the whole thing.
Somebody's being paid
yes, and then, the whole thing is forgotten about.
Yeah.
So the planning that he talked about, there is also a town and planning, section of the district assembly and so on. Most often, I mean, they are non-existent. Okay? But there's somebody who is paid at the end of the month.
If we don't want progress.
We create a structure, put people, pay them, but the work doesn't get done.
So, this thing, what he mentioned about the NDPC and all that, that, I mean, development has to be planned from the district, that the district should own the development. That is actually the case. But after you've planned, it has to go through the system all the way to the NDPC for approval before it comes back to you. Yeah. And most often, some of the things, by the time it comes back, there's been a change in administration. The assembly members, had been voted out of the place. The DCE has lost his job. And so there he comes and says, listen. Let's do it again. Okay, and the concept of local government and MPP's approach to local governance is different from NDC's approach to local governance.
Okay.
MPP deploys a lot of the chiefs, okay, because they see the whole thing as traditionalists leading that whole thing. NDC feels that, no, well, let's say some of the military regimes largely felt that, listen, it is all play all. I mean, once you have some level of, appreciation of what development is, you can do it. So again, it's being, back and forth as to the approaches that has to be. And imagine, you recall how Otunfo or the Asanteman said that they didn't like this guy, Kojo Bonsu.
Yes.
Okay, because they said Kojo Bonsu was not respecting, the golden stool, the authority. And then that whole back and forth led to whatever it is. Whatever developmental plan he had, I mean, became, what was the word, Maribon.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's, but then we haven't really spoken about the election proper. The EC is using this to experiment a lot of things, including the absence of indelible ink.
Yeah.
And then it says that they want to do the 3 p.m. thing as well.
Yes.
And then what else are they doing?
Well, I mean, I think otherwise it's a pretty regular election. They are deploying
Let me make this comment about
a lot of.
It should not be the case.
It shouldn't be the
Because
case.
the general election situation is completely different from.
Yeah.
If general election are the queues at the stage, the polling will be huge.
Will be huge.
This morning, there's nobody there.
Yeah. But participation is quite low. I dropped my son in his school, and then I noticed that there was election going on. I saw EC, and there was nobody in there. Do you get it?
Yeah, but
participation is low.
Well, fair enough, but they will.
Comparing this to proper election, the general election.
General election, yeah.
I think Jane Mensah is experimenting with a lot of things.
As she should.
I'm coming. The absence of indelible ink. We are living in a society that illiteracy rate is quite high.
Okay.
Somebody, what you call it?
The fingerprint.
Yes. That dipping his hand into an ink is for him a crowning moment.
Yeah, but that's, I mean.
No, I'm coming. Listen to me. So you don't deny that person this particular thing. The person will even finish and go and say that, he hasn't voted. The
election is rigged.
Yes, the election, and then numbers will be counted and say, listen, it was rigged. It was rigged because he saw you at police station B and then also saw you at police station C. And it's because you went there, you voted at these two places. I don't think we want to experiment with this thing. And then the excuse being given is that the biometric machines is enough, means of checking multiple.
That's assuming that the network is up and
exactly.
running.
Most often these things go, and then they tell you that battery, they couldn't charge this thing overnight. When they got to the district assembly or whatever, there was doomsaw. Okay, and
as there was in Parliament yesterday.
Do you get it? And so you don't experiment with a lot of this, and then says that even there is a register and all that and so forth. So you are marking the register, the verification, the machine, and then listen.
Larry,
we should try as much as possible to minimize negativity, and by negativity, the cry that election has been rigged. Do you understand?
I understand what you mean.
That could spark chaos.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. She is managing the election for Ghanaians, not for herself.
Yeah.
Okay? And so what Ghanaians want must be the ones that she's deploying. Don't deny the people indelible ink because you are creating chaos.
Okay. All right. Thank you.